guys, welcome to my channel, Abigail's Life. My name is Abigail and welcome back to what I would call a back to school series. Why? Because it's all about middle school. Go ahead and leave a like on the video. Also go ahead and subscribe and turn on your post notifications to be updated with my kind of weird middle school, junior high experience. So let's get started. As you guys can see in the title, today's topic is actually a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more personal to me, just because I've never really shared this with anyone, and the only person who I ever really knew was like my twin sister because she went to school with me. But this is going to be about how I used to get bullied in middle school. I know, right? Who would think that I would get bullied? But anyways, you know, bad things happen to good people all the time. So pretty much like I had explained in my last video, if you guys have not yet watched it, go ahead and watch that one, just because it's kind of like an introduction to my middle school experience. So again, I had started second semester, and pretty much the only extracurricular activities, I forgot what they're called other than that, were choir or computers. So I decided to stick to choir, and in choir it was a very interesting experience. First of all, because I didn't know notes. I still don't know notes, because she'd be like, sing do do do, and I'd be like, what are you talking about? Because I wasn't there for the first half of the class, so it's not my fault. Anyway, so the whole point of this is that that class was actually the last class that I had of the day, and that was actually it was a pretty cool class just because it was really chill. But then when I believe it was like the second half of the second semester, you know, like fourth quarter, I don't remember, but all of a sudden this girl was there, and I think she had gotten transferred from another class or from another school. I really don't even know her whole backstory, but she was the bully. So I don't even remember her name. I think it was like Maria or something. I really don't even know. The whole point was this girl in choir class used to kind of start making like fun of me, but at the same time it was just like messing around. Like she would poke me or like call me, I don't know if she would really call me names, but then like I was like in a total stage in high school where I decided I wanted to get like a punk haircut, like very layered and stuff like that. My thing was that I had that type of haircut, and when I would straighten it, she'd be like, oh, this girl always cutting her hair, this girl always trying to do something with her, because then like, you know, it looks different. Anyway, so then she'd always make remarks about my hair. Then at some point, like, she actually sat right behind me, and I sat right in front of the teacher. Guys, believe it or not, the whole entire time the teacher didn't do anything. She didn't stop it from happening. She didn't acknowledge it. She didn't do anything at all. Everyone could see it, but no one said anything. And I think that's really weird to me, because I feel like now especially everyone kind of like speaks out for other people, but I don't know why then no one did so. Maybe because I didn't do it for myself, so it's like, no, it's not your fault, Abigail, don't blame yourself. Let's get back to the story. So pretty much when I started going to the class when she was there, I was just kind of like, oh gosh, let this be a good day, let it just be a good time, can we just, I'll just pretend she's not there. But she literally sat right behind me. Like, it was ridiculous. She sat right behind me, and that was her assigned seat. And then there was a time where she started even like, she'd be like, oh look, and then she poked my butt, and I turned around and I was just like, excuse me, but if you find me attractive, you can just tell me, because honestly I don't like all of this clowning around. Like, I literally kept telling her, like, you know, it's not bad if you like girls, or like, you know, it's, you can just come out and say that, you know, you're attracted to me. Like, that was literally my way of coming back at her, and she kind of like ignored it and brushed it off, but I was like, whatever. So basically, like, her reasoning which I heard of why she did this was that supposedly it was because I never did anything back, or I never really did anything, so which I thought really weird. But because in my ways, like, I thought I defended myself, if not physically, perhaps verbally, just because I just never gave her the time of my day, and just I kind of tried to brush it off all of the time. But this was happening every single day. Like, it was to the point where I was just so stressed out, and I was so anxious of going to this class that I literally would be on my way to my last period, and I'd be like, please Lord, let her be sick, let her get in trouble, let her just not be there. And I was just so anxious about going into class. And that's what a lot of people don't think about when someone's being bullied, or when you are bullying someone. Like, you don't think about what that person's going through, or the feelings that they're having while you're doing this. Basically, I was just always stressing out, but the Lord is good. So here's a very interesting part of the story. So I ended up making a friend in my English class who was actually friends with her. For some reason, the conversation came up, and then I was like, oh, I know that girl. And then I was just like, yeah, she looks like a little bit of trouble. And she started spilling all the tea about her friend, and that friend was my bully. So I was just like, oh, thank the Lord, you know, and stuff like that, like, hallelujah. And so she started telling me all the things about her life, like how she was a troublemaker, she had gotten kicked out of multiple schools, and just everything about her, and just how her parents even said, like, you get kicked out of one more school and you don't get a 15, like, you get in trouble one more time and you don't have your quinceañera, your birthday party. So in my head I was just like, bingo, like, you know, we scored, like, eureka. Like, so she would, to get in trouble, she would just be pretty much suspended, or she would get expelled, one of those things. Anyways, but here's the thing, I never really said anything, and it came to the point where, like, we were getting more physical and more kind of like angry at each other. Or maybe she was just getting more like hyped about the fact that I was getting angry at her. Like, there was a time where she literally pulled my hair and she wouldn't let it go, and I was ready to punch her in the face. But my thoughts back then have always been the same. Like, I was like,
no, Abigail, once you get something on your record, like, no school's gonna want to accept you. You can't go to any college. Once you want to join honors classes, like, it's gonna be on your record. Like, think about it, Abigail. Like, you don't want to do this. Like, you don't want to do this.
And that was always in my mind. So, like, honestly, that's literally the only thing that stopped me from doing anything. The fact that I thought, like, if I get in trouble, I'm not going to be accepted to any college. Like, it's going to be on my record even when I go to high school or something. Like, that's literally what I thought. The first part about this was that, like I said in my last video, I hung around with mainly 8th graders my whole entire 7th grade semester or something. And then so the thing was that all of my friends, the people I hung out with in the 8th graders, they were actually her friends too. So they were in my choir class. Like, literally, like, 4 of them were there, and they would just like watch, or like they would just be like, dude, just stop, like, just leave her alone. But they didn't really do anything about her. It's like, dude, like, seriously, just stop. They just like laugh and kind of giggle, and it was just like, to me, it was so infuriating, to a point where I was just like, you guys kind of really suck. Like, you guys are so immature. And I stopped hanging out with them entirely, and I just pretty much pretended that they didn't exist. So when this is going on, I pretty much just never told anyone and just let it happen. The only good thing, and here comes the best part of the story, is at some point, after all my prayers, you know, because the God is good, I went to class and she wasn't there anymore. So, joke's on her. So I ended up hearing from someone was that she got expelled from that junior high. She was an 8th grader, but she got like expelled, and the reason why was the dumbest thing in the world. And then I heard this from my friend that was her friend. So I mean, you know, it's good to know people, you guys. So but honestly, I was just like, what the heck? She got expelled for tagging and writing her name on it. So it's like, it's obvious who it was, and obviously tagging is a big deal. So after that, I just enjoyed the rest of my 7th grade. But what always kind of stayed with me is how your friends or people that you're close to can pretty much see you in a bad situation and they won't really do anything to help you. That's kind of really what stuck in my head. Like, I think that's one of the things I've never really gotten over. Just like trusting people to be there for you and when you actually need them. But that's for another story. But that's something that you guys always need to think about. Like, you know, in those situations where they say like, oh yeah, you always think they're your friends until you really need them, and then you don't really know, like they don't know you, like they pretend you don't exist. Like, that's kind of like in that situation, they just pretended that it wasn't me that was in that situation, and they just never did anything, never mentioned it, never said anything about it. So yeah, that's how you kind of get rid of people you don't need in your life when situations happen. So that's very unfortunate, but it's always but pretty much to end this video, I just wanted to share this story, kind of to opening up about like my middle school experience. Just you know, not everyone's life is as perfect as it seems, or not like just because someone looks nice doesn't mean they're being treated nicely. My thing has always been to treat someone better than how anyone has treated me. I always want to allow someone to prove me wrong, or the way that I think wrong. Like, I don't want to just automatically assume someone's a bad person. So that's me. I just give everyone a chance, and I feel like everyone just needs to do that as well in life. Like, just give everyone a chance, but once you see that they're toxic, it's like you need to just get rid of them. That goes with either friends or someone that's around you that's being toxic. And anyone that is in a situation where you are being bullied, I would recommend you to actually stand up for yourself. Like, say this needs to stop, either by you telling a family member or actually telling a teacher. But I have heard many stories where a lot of people go to teachers or authority figures or parents or something and nothing gets done about it. And if nothing gets done about it, I literally suggest you just to do something about it. You have to stand up for yourself, and if not, you'll really regret it for the rest of your life. You'll feel like, I should have done something. Like, that's literally the thought of the back of my head, and why I kind of don't stand for a lot of things now is just because, like, I wish I had the attitude I do now in middle school. Like, I feel like everything would have been so much more different. Like, I probably would have beat her up. Like, I probably would have just like hit her, like, just to feel good about it. Like, I honestly don't feel if I would have got, I wouldn't feel bad if I would have gotten beat up, because as long as I got to hit her, I wouldn't care. But anyways, that was my how I got bullied in middle school story. And so if you guys like that story, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I know it's not a story you're supposed to like, but it's still, give it a thumbs up. I just really want to open the conversation to anyone that is being bullied, or anyone that watches this video and can't really express it with anyone. Just know that there's someone here to help. And I really like listening to everyone and their experiences. Go ahead and subscribe and turn on your post notifications, because the story is actually not over yet. So there's still another part to this, so go ahead and subscribe. My name is Abigail, and this is Abigail's Life, and I hope you stay tuned for more of it. Thank you.